So I went ahead and hit the record button because I figured if this is going to be the first episode, I might as well, instead of like explaining it twice and then doing it, I might as well just explain it the one time, and then everyone who's watching this will know what to expect when the other videos eventually come.
Yep.
Makes sense to me. So yeah, I'm Dwan Elhern, more affectionately known as the Moon. This is the Moon Unscathed interviews. I'm going to screw that up because I'm not used to saying that anymore. I've done one interview before, like years ago. It was a friend of mine. She was talking about like credit and finances and real estate and such like that. And that's where I had the idea to start doing like interview stuff. And then I realized I had no one else to interview in the moment. And then I got into more of the writing stuff. And then I do interviews all the bloody time for horror related stuff. But then I thought there are so many more people in my circle who do more than just horror, or they just do other stuff. And my show, Socko and the Moon, doesn't really open the door for that. So I needed something else. I needed something else on my end where I can do these interviews, where I can talk to people and just bring more people to the forefront. I think my friends are dope. And so I want to introduce my friends to everybody else. So yeah. Welcome to the Moon Unscathed interviews. We're just going to go with Unscathed because that's the name of the actual show. We just do interviews now.
Let's do it.
It's called Unscathed for like a multitude of reasons, but that's probably going to be like bonus content. I'll tell you the origin of the show title later. Actually, it's a really funny story. I don't know why I keep looking like I'm looking that way. This is frustrating the shit out of me. But yeah, this will not be edited. There will be no cuts. This is just raw, uncensored bullshit. And if I want to have raw, uncensored bullshit, what better guest to have than my friend Nicole?
Than someone who can't stop herself from saying the most ridiculous things ever. Yeah, totally. That was well thought through.
It ultimately checks out. That is,
cancel culture is going to be right there. Like,
cancel culture can kiss my ass. We don't do that.
Carry on. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good. You're good because you're next.
Hell yeah.
So this is my first guest. This is Nicole Ford Thomas, and because here, let me be honest. So, of the shows I do, I have Socko and the Moon, and then there's a friend of mine who does a show. They have a show called the Star Chamber Show, and they're really good at like these really thought out, researched introductions, and I don't do that. It's a lot easier for me to just open the door and let them introduce themselves. Then they can share what they want to share. They can say what they want to say, and I don't have to worry about fucking it up. Easiest for me, right?
Exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, meet Nicole Ford Thomas. Tell us about yourself. What all do you do?
Hi.
I need like a cheering track on the thing.
There we go. I don't have a clue how to do bios. I'm so bad at this. I write books. I write short stories. I put together anthologies for charity. Until very recently, I was a wildlife rehabber. Used to be a florist, used to be a personal trainer, used to be a lot of things. I've done a lot of things in my life, and I finally just got to the point where I'm like, okay, writing's good. Like, we're good now. We're good now. I say this as I'm about ready to start taking classes in how to learn how to draw. But
better you than me, because if I have a pen in my hand, it's just to write things. I don't even do that well anymore.
I'm just like, hey, I can't get any worse, and so I'm like, I can't get any worse. And my daughter is actually an artist, and so I was like, kiddo, will you please teach me how to draw? And she was like, it's going to be really boring. I was like, for you or me?
She's like, yes.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
So, well, we're going to figure it out, because I'm just like, I can't get any worse. So like, that's amazing. Like I can barely hold the stylus. So
you know what? I find it encouraging though, because one of the things that I learned that people our age don't want to do is learn new skills or change their mind or think differently.
I don't have time for that. There's too many awesome stuff in this world There's too much to do. Like,
There really is. And I've
there's
surrounded myself, you've surrounded yourself with all kinds of people who do all kinds of things.
yeah,
Why not dabble? I don't have to be a master chef to learn how to cook a new dish or to appreciate food from a different culture. I don't have to be, a famous artist to maybe draw my own book cover or something, or at
yeah.
least have an idea, sketchboard, some storyboard shit. Like I can do that. Like
Can you
stick
imagine
figures are
how
amazing.
boring like, can you imagine how boring it is that you get this one life, allegedly, that you get this one life and
Different show,
spend the
different show.
entire time just learning one thing and trying to master that one thing and be, like, the best ever at that one thing, and even if that thing is, like freaking accounting or something. Are you serious?
Yes, who's
You know how
counting?
much stuff is out there? Like,
There's
that's
so
being
much
like,
stuff out there.
I only ever want to live in Peoria, and I never wanna step foot outside of Peoria ever. It's the best place ever. It's like, are you serious? Like,
It's
there's a whole
funny.
world.
It's
There's
funny
an
you
entire
use that
planet.
example. It's funny you use that example because there's so many people who will say, um, I've met this perfect person or I do this perfect job. And it's like, well, what else have you done? It's like, well, just this, but it's great, right? I'm like, oh, I'm sure it is. But how can you say it's the best if you have nothing else to compare it to?
Yeah.
And I
If you
feel like
felt
if you're going to be creative, or even if you don't necessarily want to be creative, just a person who does things, try another thing. You might find that you're better at the second thing. There are so many stories out there about people who were going down a career path. Something happened. It stopped them from doing that thing anymore. And then next thing you know, they find themselves doing this secondary, unrelated thing and enjoying it, thinking it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to them. And that happens so many times, so
yeah.
many times. It just reminds us that we should just do the things, be
Learn
a doer of
forever.
things.
Like, learn forever. There's so much free shit out there that you can find to teach you how to do this, that, the other, whatever. Like, don't stop. Like, there's just so much cool stuff out there. How do you just like, but I don't have time. Bullshit.
No, there's plenty of
Bullshit.
time.
We all
Just
have the same amount of time. Like, make time, find time. If you actually cared, it's just easier not to. I think for a
it
lot
is
of people,
easier
it's
not
easier
to.
not to. And then maybe they have that fear that they might figure out that they've wasted this far in their life.
I
And it's
think
the sunk cost fallacy where people are like, I've spent so much time focused on, I don't know, I'm gonna say air traffic control just for Kyle, my
sure.
husband. I've spent so much time on just air traffic control, like, I can't possibly pivot from here, or I can't acknowledge that I could have done something differently back then,
Yeah.
because then, like, I'll feel like I forgot to live, but you
Yeah.
did. So why would you like, the first best time would have been then. The second best time is now. I don't
Always.
understand why, like, this is so I don't get people.
I think
I don't
what
get people.
I think what it turns into is a fear of failure.
Yeah.
If you know you're good at something, whatever thing A is, and you go to try to do thing B and you fail at it, you're going to be like, oh, I failed at this versus, well, that didn't work out. Let me go back to A until I find a good C. I think maybe not the world's best example, but a decent example, I think, would be um, Michael Jordan. I
Yeah.
was just having a conversation with my son. He loves sports. And we were having a conversation about Michael Jordan. I was telling him that Michael Jordan played baseball once. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. Remember the original Space Jam where they dropped him off at a baseball diamond? There's a reason for that. At that point in time, Michael Jordan had retired from basketball and decided he was going to play baseball. Should he have played baseball? No. No, he should not have. So he went back to basketball. But hey, he at least tried, right?
He tried.
Um, Professional wrestler and horror actor CM Punk tried his hand at mixed martial arts. Sure, he's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion right now, but he's also 0-2 in the UFC. It's the only reason why I know the name Mickey Gall.
So in that whole thing of that too, it's just like, why? Like, why? Like, why are people afraid of failure? I don't understand why
I do.
people are. It's so fun.
I
It's
understand
so
why people are.
fun to fuck up.
I think we all know. Like, I think the difference between us and others who know, um, we've learned that the best lessons are learned through failure.
Yeah.
I've learned that. You've learned that. We've learned that the best lessons are learned through failure. Some people have not. You are a bad person if you fail. So do this easy thing that you can do really well, or don't try too hard to advance too far. You're in this bubble, you're in this niche, stay there. Stay in your lane and just go forward right here. Spend your life right here. Don't leave your hometown, don't leave your home state, don't leave your home country, don't leave your one profession, don't leave your one job, don't leave your one art. You're good at this. Stay here, do this and only this. And that is the saddest mindset
What
that
a
anyone can
small
be put in.
existence. That's not a life. It's not
Right.
a life.
But when that has been your entire life, and maybe your parents' entire life, and maybe their parents' entire life, because for whatever reason they just never explored anywhere else, to you, nothing else exists. So to you, it's the entire world. One of my, it's funny that I refer to as one of my favorite books. One of my favorite books is Room. And I forgot who wrote it. I think her name was like Donahue. Um, I could be wrong about that. I can look it up. I just don't want to.
It's
But the
fine.
thing
Carry on.
about the room, the book Room is sparing, details. A woman is kidnapped and has a child in captivity. The kid's like 5, and the story is told from his point of view. And as far as he's concerned, this room that may be like 12 by 12, um, that's the world. That is the entirety of the world.
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, I think there's a lot of people who have that perspective from their jobs or their hometowns. I know a lot of people get like stuck in their hometowns. It's a thing. It's like the world doesn't exist outside of wherever you were born. And it's unfortunate, but of course you have to leave town to figure out how unfortunate that is.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you believe that everything's horrible out there, everything's going to be horrible out there. Like, it's Emma Donahue, by the way. I just looked it up.
I thought it was Donahue. And I
Yeah.
wasn't
You
sure if it
said
was like Emma or Ella or L. I knew it was like E, a double letter set, and then something, but I couldn't remember what double
we
letter
found
set
it.
it was.
We found
Uh,
it. Yeah.
Thank you very
I
much.
want to find all those people, though, who don't have the freedom. Oh gosh. Okay. So here we are. We're like actually like getting to like the nitty gritty of this.
Yeah.
How do we, as people who are unplugged from the matrix, I guess, as
In
those
a
of us
manner
who
of
are
speaking.
awoken, I don't want to say that, awake did. How do we facilitate other people being brave enough to fail at things? Like, how do we like? So there's the show Fear Factor, right?
Yeah.
What if there was a
Which is
show
coming
like
back unsponsored.
what if there's like a show called like Fail Factor, where it's just people doing these things that are, I mean, safely, obviously, we're not going to jump out of airplanes,
No,
but
I'm not
like,
doing that. No.
I mean, I would jump out of an airplane.
I would not jump on an airplane.
Perfectly good airplane, but I got it at some point. I just haven't done it yet. But like, how do we as people who understand that is such a small existence, and that giving yourself permission to fail, giving
This.
yourself the space and the grace to fail, but also being open to having your mindset change, that failure is not bad. Failure is exploration. And like, that's when it came to like me putting together the anthologies.
Mhm.
Two of Crones, the company, just for the peoples. See, this is why I don't
Oh, we
tell.
were getting there. Oh, trust me, I have preparation. It's
You
good.
got
Don't
it
worry.
covered.
Got you.
In the course of doing that, it's like I had no idea what I was doing. I was the worst. Like I had no business doing this. As far as when you have people who are like, "Yeah, you should do that. You've got experience in this kind." I had no experience. What I have is a whole lot of Google foo and bravery. And I was like, I have no idea how to do this. I have no idea what I'm doing, not even a little bit. But guess what? I'm going to figure this fucker out. And I now have my last two anthologies that I've put out with Sarah C. Brody, my partner in crime. Um, they've been bestsellers on Amazon. And it's like, so now I have like the credit, but when I like not the credit, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
It's credential,
the cash
credit,
shay.
credit,
Um, yeah.
credential. It's a credential, basically. So the credit, yeah,
Yeah. Like
it's under your belt.
I have like a reason to know what I'm talking about now. Whereas
Yeah,
before I didn't. But I would have been the first, and I was. I said repeatedly, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't have a clue. How are you going to do? I don't know. We're going to Google. We're going to watch a lot of videos on YouTube. We're going to ask a lot of questions of people who have done things like this before. We're going to figure it out. And I say
yeah,
we, but it was just me in the beginning stumbling through it. But I did it. And now it's like going somewhere. But if I had like been trapped in that, oh, I can't do that. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It's not my wheelhouse or whatever, like I never would have gotten here. And I did it simply by having the bravery to just totally fall on my face with it. Because I'm the type of person I will fall on my face and I will lay there and giggle and then pick myself back up, dust off my knees, and try a different way because like that's me.
right.
I'm brave like that.
To answer your question,
Yeah.
I think the thing that we can do is what we're doing now. Literally, what this is. This is two people who have walked into a space that was uncertain. We gave it the good old college try, as they say, and then we did a thing. Whether that thing is succeed or fail, we did a thing.
We did the thing.
And I think that's where the stories are. And we tell the story, and so someone listens to us tell the story, and they say, "Oh, so they tried a thing and it didn't work, or they tried the thing that shouldn't have worked and somehow made it work.
Yeah.
They tried the thing, found help, the people came together, and it was successful after that."
That's the story of my life. That there. Of all the things that I have accomplished in my life, none of it has been accomplished because I'm super great at anything. It's because I've been like, okay, I'm dumb. I don't know what's going on, but I know enough to know that I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to keep my
Most
mouth
important
shut.
lesson.
I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to move forward. But like the other part about that, Dawn, that's a lot of fun is that you don't have to do things the right way. I love the writing adage, know the rule you're breaking.
Yeah.
Because like as long as you know you're breaking it, break it. Like
And that is probably like for any writer, that's like the greatest piece of advice to like stick in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because we all break rules. And that's where
constantly.
You'll know if you watch, because I write films, I do scripts, and so I watch a lot of movies now, more movies now than I have ever before. And you can tell a movie that has followed the steps that everyone else has followed.
Yeah, like the hero's journey.
And when something swerves the other direction, you're like, okay, now I'm back on board. I was a little sleepy there, but I'm back now because now I don't know what's going on. I always talk about my favorite horror movie franchise is Scream, and with it being such like a meta storytelling tool, kind of plays a joke on its own self, where a lot of Scream movies, go to the party at the end of the movie. That's where all the climax of the movie happens, the crescendo, the villain is revealed, and the final girl, succeeds or whatever. I think Scream 4 subverts that. It does the big party, and you're like, okay, the big party here, and then it doesn't happen there. And then they say, oh yeah, well, I don't know what we're doing now because the big party scene happened, and now we're after the big party scene. What happens next? And it's like another scene or two before we get to that actual reveal part. So you take the mold, you acknowledge the mold, and then you break the mold. And I think you should always do things the right way so that when you break the rule, you know exactly how to break it.
Yeah.
Without completely breaking the universe. But again, back to the really profound question of how do we help other people get out of that?
Before
I think we have to
back to that. I'm sorry. There's one more thing I wanted to say. I wanted to let you get that through. We'll defer right back to what I promised. But
go for it. You're the guest. Go ahead.
Along those lines, with when you're know the rule you're breaking, be able to show that you actually can do it properly. If I had to sit down and write a properly written essay with proper grammar, with proper word usage, proper paragraphs, things like that, I could do it.
I can't.
I would sleep through the whole entire fucking thing because that's so boring, but I could do it because I've done it a million times. But the fact that I know how to do it doesn't mean that I need to be locked into this box where if you know how to do it, you've got to do it. Which is, I think, the root of this whole problem, which, and now look, it tied back in. The whole root of the problem is that just because it's what you're supposed to do according to society doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, because the reality is the rules of society are in place because we're supposed to be cogs. So the rules and what we're raised and taught, we're supposed to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Those are we're cattle. We're just supposed to stay within the confines of our pastures. Mm-hmm. And to have the bravery to be yeah, I scoped out the whole pasture thing. That's cool, but the grass is really luscious over that hill. And maybe it's because it's full of poop. Who knows? But the whole thing is, you got to know. You go over there, check it out, try it. So I'm getting overly passionate about it. Okay.
You are. No, it's okay.
Cycling back. What was getting back to the thing? How do we reach the people?
By telling the story, by doing this. This is literally what I was going to say. I think the person who's afraid to move forward or try something different needs to hear from someone who did. And whether they succeeded or not, I think it's still just as valuable. Because if you failed on the other side of that fence, the other side of that hill or whatever, but you made it back, it's you can go fail and survive it well enough to return. It's perfectly fine. You can tried it, didn't work, come back. Yeah. And it happens, I've known people who worked 9-to-5 jobs, started their own business didn't work, they're back to working on 9-to-5. Yeah. Huge wrestling fan. Surprise to everyone who watches this show. I know, shock of the century.
I have no idea.
But there are a lot of wrestlers who the wrestling career didn't work out for them. They're working 9-to-5s now.
Yeah.
Not everyone leaves the business. No, there isn't. It's
I think that there's absolutely, it's fair and right for everyone to be able to say, yeah, I tried this. It was cool and all, but it doesn't really work for me. And then step away. This is actually,
God forbid.
In the last 24 hours, this has actually been a relevant topic.
It has.
But the whole thing where people are ha ha, you're a dabbler. Fuck you. I may be just a dabbler, but I can sit here and be I was a florist. I was a personal trainer. I was certified. I was an ACE certified personal trainer through the American Council on Exercise. Like I didn't like these aren't like little things that I did. They're big things. And I did them until they didn't serve me anymore. And I was like, cool, that was fun. What's next? And like I don't understand why we're wrong societally for saying what's next.
It's one of those things where I remember always telling people it looks better on your resume to have been in one place for 10 years versus having spent the last 10 years at a whole bunch of different jobs. And again, kind of like you mentioned, that does serve who? It serves some corporate master or whatever, some CEO to serve them for 10 or 20 years. And this is, of course, nothing against anyone who stayed at their job for a long time.
You got to pay the bills.
Right. And
but
usually longevity has and if it's a good job, then why would you leave it? But if you were working somewhere and the hours suck, the management's terrible, the hours are bad, the commute is ridiculous, and you're unhappy, why are you still there?
Yeah.
And if it's because, well, the pay is good, well, that's fantastic, which is the reason why you're working, but is it worth your peace? And I think that is something that didn't hit me until I was like good in my late 30s, like the importance of my peace.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that is what no one focuses on. There's so many people who, they'll go to the job, they'll go do the thing, they'll hang out with the people, they'll be in a place that doesn't serve them anymore. And they do it because they are supposed to. They do it because that's what they've done, or it's how it works. And then it's just like, it doesn't have to work that way. It works that way because someone told you it was supposed to, and you didn't have the bravery to say, maybe for you, not for me, and then go on and do your own thing. So honestly, I think to dabble, as we're calling it, takes bravery. I think you're a better person, you're a braver person for saying, this no longer serves me. I'm going to take the risk and I'm going to go over here. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to learn this and this and this along with that and this and that. Yeah. Because when you know a whole lot of different things about a whole lot of different things, you can help a whole lot more different people in different spaces. Because I'm just a gigantic nerd, so I learn a whole lot about different things.
Same.
So I run into people, they're like, well, what is this thing that has to do with opening a restaurant? I'm like, well, I went to culinary school for a short period of time. I have this experience, what I learned from this guy, and I have a friend over here that did this while I was in that space. Here's what they did right. Here's what they did wrong. Here's what could help you. Matter of fact, let me go hit you up, like get you connected with my friend over here who does X, Y, Z. Maybe they can help you through a thing. I had somebody reach out to me 6 to 8 months ago. And it was like, hey, you write, don't you? I'm like, yeah. It's like, so I have a friend of mine who's trying to get their book together. They need help with formatting. Can you help them, lead them in the right direction? So I formatted their book for them. Now, where did I learn how to format my book? Figuring it the fuck out when I had to put my book out.
Yep.
I didn't know what I was doing. And I needed it done by the end of the year so I could put a certain short story in the competition. Right? It was the whole reason why I released that book. It's the sole reason that book exists. And I'm like, all right, it's like the 15th of December, and this book needs to be out, like formatted and released. I got like a couple weeks. Christmas is coming, then New Year. I got no time whatsoever. So let me figure this the fuck out. So after about 3 or 4 YouTube videos and some templates, you look horrified.
I'm great. Sorry.
I just figured it out. I played with it, screwed it up, tried it again, figured it out, got it right, and then released the book.
That's it.
And that's how you got to do it. So now I've learned it. I've shared that with other people. Those who just don't want to bother, I had no problem helping them. But otherwise, I'm like, try this. Here's a template that might help you. Here's the thing. or I know this friend over there that can do that for you if you need them.
Yeah.
And it's just that's how you figure it out, and that's how you help the next person. We fuck up, so we can tell you how to avoid fucking up, but
Yeah.
then you'd fuck up, and then you can tell the next person.
Exactly. And then give him permission to like, look, here we go. Oh wow, look what just happened. I was brave and I came out of it unscathed. I came out wiser and I learned things. Oh, look how we just brought it all full circle. Damn, we're good at this. Okay,
Unscathed.
so but like it like to give see and like I'm still standing. And not only am I still standing, I'm still being brave. I'm still going forward. I did not get my hand slapped and go, "Oh God, well, can't do that anymore." I went, "Well, let me not do that exact thing anymore. Let me go this way and see what happens."
And
We're not
sometimes it's
treat
just that that thing doesn't work right then. It
Yeah,
actually might work later on, but you have
yep,
to experience it and figure it all out in the mix to
that's it.
understand, like, is it that this doesn't work, or is it that it doesn't work for me, or it doesn't work for me right now under these other circumstances?
Yeah,
All
like
of those are valuable pieces of information you can't get if you don't try it.
so like it's like flying a kite in a hurricane. If you're like, "I wanna see if I can fly a kite," and it's a freaking hurricane, and the kite is just, like, you know, blown to Tuesday, like, you can't look at that and then go, "Oh, well, I clearly can't fly a kite." You have to, like, then take stock in what happened and explore it and ruminate on it and be like, "What okay, so what were the mitigating factors of this situation that happened? Why did it happen this way? What could have caused this to not work?" And then you find what didn't work. And instead of being like, "Well, I just can't fly kites," you realize, "I can't fly kites in a fucking hurricane."
Depending on
Same
how
thing, if
bad
you're
the
going
winds
out on
are, you could fly a Volvo.
a there you go. But if, like, you're just, like, a whole like, standing, like, in some place that has no wind whatsoever, and you're like, "Fly, fly," and you're, like, throwing the kite and it's nosediving, you can't then go, "Well, I tried it 2 different times and it didn't work." There's elements that have to come together to make things work, and if you don't test the waters in different scenarios, how are you gonna find it? How are
Yeah.
you gonna find it? And so for someone to just be like, "Oh, I tried 2 times and that's enough for me." Okay, well, you're a dumbass. Like, I can't think of a
Or
nicer
you
way to
don't
put
care
it.
enough. You just genuinely don't care about this thing
Yeah, like,
enough.
"Oh, no, it actually had, like, a little bit of a challenge that you almost had to, like, use 2 brain cells." You know, like, I don't I don't understand why anyway, like, I just don't understand people. That's the point.
And I think they understand people a little bit better than most people understand people, truthfully,
It's a
because
curse.
in a sense, because these are kind of like the unlocked versions of things. You know, there are so many people who they mean well, they're good people, they have a good heart, but
Allegedly.
but their focus is, you know, the things they were taught to focus life on. You know, focus life on getting your money right, having a job, having your house, having your kids, having your spouse, have the things. Click, 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 click. And you're not living life unless you had all these things. And that's why people start picking on other people who don't have spouses or don't have kids or are working 9 to 5s instead of owning their own company.
Yeah,
Like, it's nothing's wrong with any of those things, but it's like, is
none
that
of
what
it.
you really want to do? Because don't get me wrong, there's a lot in running your own company that sometimes I don't have the time, the patience for. You know, I'm
Oh,
in
yeah.
a situation where I don't have to work a 9 to 5, but having worked in management for a big company for as long as I did, I can tell you what I'm not going to do in my next job because it just wasn't worth the bullshit.
Not at all.
So, so to do that and get my like clock in, collect my check, and clock out, I'm good. I'm good with that. I'll use my other time to do all my creative ventures, like having these wonderful conversations with fantastic people like yourself.
I I like the idea too of act your wage. Our culture has a scenario where you're expected to go above and beyond. When people sign jobs, like even if you're getting a job at a gas station, you have job expectations put in front of you.
Hmm.
We're paying you XYZ for you to do
Hmm.
ABC. And then people bosses, and it's expected and it's rewarded. It's seen as virtuous in our society, not our society. I pronounced it in the wrong grammar, and
Nobody
that
can
did not go well.
nobody can read how you pronounced it. It's okay.
I could feel it in my mouth and it was messing me up. But like, it's rewarded to always go above and beyond. And that's how you get seen, is to do way more than you're actually getting paid for. So my favorite saying, and it's not, I didn't make it up, but like, to act your wage. Stop doing shit you're not getting paid for. And then
Yeah.
maybe you won't be coming home so fucking drained that you can't do the things that you like to do. Do what
Yeah.
you're paid for, go in, do your job, come home. Cross the threshold into your house, plop your shit down, take your bra off. Your mileage may vary. But like, and then start doing the things that you love. You have to pay the bills. We all have to pay the bills somehow.
Yeah.
Like, we have to have money. We can't live in a society without money.
Sadly.
We have to have currency. But that doesn't mean you have to sell your soul over to your job. And if the idea is, yeah, but if I do this, if I just push this much forward and I take on all these extra jobs, then the boss will finally notice me and maybe I'll get to make partner or get a promotion or something like that. Okay. But in the meantime, you just kissed 5 years of your life goodbye that you're never getting back.
Yeah.
And
there's a way around that.
Get that.
And real quick, I want to make sure that, because funny scenario, the company I worked for was a gas station and I was a management there. Management there. And so here's what I will say to that, not to discredit it, because you're right. But what you really should do, and this is what people don't do, and this applies for every other industry, is if you have the intention of moving up, make that known up front.
Yeah.
Have that be very clear. If you don't have the desire to move up, say that up front. Be very clear. I will, maybe I'm a different kind of person, but if I had an employee come in and is like, listen, doc, I'm gonna let you know, I'm scheduled to work 30 hours a week. I want to come in, do my 30 and go home.
Yep.
That's all I want. Like, I'm not looking to be promoted. I'm not here trying to do the most. I'm trying to come in, do what you need me to do within my job description, call it a day. I don't look down on that. There's a lot of people who will try to guilt you into doing more. Just don't let them. I honestly respect that, because now I know what to expect from you. I don't say it's like, I need someone to work overtime. I'm not going to waste my time asking you or banking on you. I already know you want to do your 30 and call it.
Exactly.
I'm not mad at you for it. It's just what it is.
And then on the flip side, if you got somebody who's like, I would really like to get into management.
Yes.
I would really like to move up the ranks. Then you, as being in management, can say, all right, there's my protege. This is the person I'm mentoring. I need to, with this class is coming up, this is the person I got to, hey, do you want to do this? Are you interested in this? I have to do this paperwork. So you want to watch me do it to learn how to do it so that you'll have that skill. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, but it's our society so badly frowns upon people who are willing to do the absolute minimum. I don't think that's bad. They have other shit going on in their lives. Let them. Yeah. If they need the money that they get from 30 hours and that's it, good.
You may not understand the rest of that person's life.
Be there because they have their goals in place. They know what they're doing. They've got their reasoning.
Maybe they've got a sick father at home and 30 hours is all the time that they can take away. Don't shit on that guy because he only wants to work 30 hours. He's trying to make his money so that he can go to work and do his thing, pay his taxes, and have his little extra cash for food and medicine for himself and his dad at home that might be suffering from dementia or whatever the other shit may be. You don't know what other, and honestly, managers, real quick, not your business.
Not.
Shut the fuck up. It's not your business.
Not.
If he wants to work 30, let him work his 30 and let him roll on. Don't try to hold him for 35. Don't try to guilt him into working 35. Don't try to like, well, you know. Now, if I tell you my story and that's my story, and you tell me, well, you want to work 30, right? Okay, cool. Would insurance be better for your situation? Because if you work an average of 36 hours, you count as full time. You're now eligible for different like benefits. That's a conversation you can have, and you know that's extra 6 hours over the week. That might be an extra 2 hours a day for a couple of days. So you might have maybe an extra hour and then 2 on the weekend or whatever. That actually might work out best for you. I remember there was a time where I had an employee who was kind of talking about, she was looking for going from part-time to full-time. And I took it upon myself to say, hey, some of the benefits you'll have is, because she was like 23, 24. Like one of the benefits you'll have is that they have tuition reimbursement. So-and-so and so-and-so go to college also. They get tuition reimbursement. Also, you'll get this benefit and this benefit. Just want to let you know what you're getting into if you're still thinking about going full-time. I felt it was important to tell them this because that's a very enticing thing for some people, particularly that young. Now, if she didn't give a shit, she didn't give a shit. But I also remember, right, I also knew I had some full-time employees going through a couple little things. And I was like, hey, side note, on your own, like I called them on their lunch break. I'm like, hey, I hate to bother you real quick, but I didn't want to say this while you're on the floor with everybody else. But I know you're going through XYZ. You have this benefit. So if you contact this number, and here's a pamphlet, I pulled this pamphlet out for you, contact this number, and they might have some resources that can make this situation easier for you. Because that's what I would want. But it all comes from speaking up and talking to people, and then listening when people talk to you, and having that open communication. And I think what ultimately this whole conversation boils down to is we don't communicate well in our society. And I'll say our society versus our country, because this actually extends outside the United States.
It does.
There's a lot of first world countries that operate in this very capitalistic way of thinking. And there is this mindset where if I'm just silently doing more, I'll be noticed. Don't be silent. Tell your management, hey, I want a promotion, I want to make more money. What is it that I got to do that? How does that work? Yeah. If I want to be a manager and have management experience, how does that work? Like, speak up. If you're like, hey, I'm about to get married or I'm about to have a kid, insurance would be dope. What do I do to get insurance through work? Have those conversations. Open your mouth and talk. Ask the questions. And I think we're surrounded by a lot of people who have failed in life for one reason or another. And we're scared to talk about it, and we're scared to ask questions because communication is not our thing. And I think one of the greatest lessons that anyone can get out of the course of this conversation is learn to communicate. And it doesn't mean you have to learn perfect diction and have an extended vocabulary and all that bullshit. If you got a twang or an accent or you use slang or whatever, you can get your point across.
Or you cuss like a sailor.
Sure the fuck do. And it's cool. Like just communicate. Like just have a conversation with people. And it's amazing. One of the reasons why my little thing is that I write stuff, I film stuff, and I talk to people. One of the things I love about talking to people is you learn from their life experiences. Someone once told me, learn from other people's mistakes because life is too short to make them all yourself. And I've always loved that one because it has opened the door to me talking to complete strangers, older people in our community, the OGs, as we would call them.
Yeah.
You find like the guy who's been sitting in the corner for the last 50 years doing that thing you're just now trying to learn. Talk to that guy.
Yeah, that's your guy. That's your guy right there. He's got some nuggets of wisdom.
And I'll tell you, most people, you come at them the right way, have no problem telling you. They're excited to share that information with somebody else. Some of the conventions that we go to, there's people there just dying to share information with you. That's why they do panels. That's why they're at those conventions. They have 20, 30, 40 years of experience in X, Y, and Z, and they're loving to share that with someone else who's trying to start off. Mm-hmm. Before we get into too much of this 45 minutes later, I do want to talk about you a little bit.
Yeah, you still have like whole questions that you're supposed to ask. So
I'll touch through some of them just because I just want people to, if they're seeing Nicole Ford Thomas, I want them to get to know Nicole Ford Thomas. I think they've learned a lot about Nicole.
Good luck,
Uh,
folks.
well, they just learned a lot about how you think and feel, and I love that. I think that's probably the most important part of the thing that this show can do. It's just like talk about the real shit. This is what we were talking about briefly before we started, like before I hit record. That's what we were talking about was this shit. So we just kind of carried the conversation on while the button was pressed. And 45 minutes later, here we are. But no, I just want to touch on a couple things. You said up until recently you had a wildlife reserve. What happened recently?
Well, I've had the rehab for 3 years, I want to say, and it's just gotten to the point where it's a lot of wear and tear. It's hard. It's a really hard job to do.
Yeah, I
Specifically,
couldn't do it.
I raised orphans, so I would get orphans, mammals, and then I would raise them to be released again. It's not a very high success rate, so that's tough in itself.
Yeah,
Um, but at the same time, I am limited by how far I can leave the house according to how many animals are in my care. And it kind of got to a point where, like, Kyle, my husband, retires in, he would be really quick to tell you, 804 days. So he's got 2 years left, roughly, before he can retire. And he's like, I want the freedom to be able to go and to be able to do things. If I'm retired, I don't want something else holding me back. And
yeah.
it's not that he was like, hey, you got to close down the rehab, because he would never do that. He
No,
would
of
not
course
do
not.
that. I love him. He's amazing. He would never do that. But I could also like watch and recognize that like it's run its course for what
Yeah,
it was. It worked with our family until it didn't. And then it was like, okay, so, I helped as many animals as I could. I feel really good about that. Um, what's next? So, yeah, we just closed it. I just went through, it was a 501c3. So I'm currently going through the IRS trying to get them to revoke. I'm trying to do the right thing. You know what I mean? I could just
naturally.
do
Yeah,
nothing, but I'm actually going to the IRS and being like, I should not have a 501c3 anymore. I shouldn't. Please take it away. So, going through that. And then I'm going through the state. I'm in Ohio. So I'm going through the state trying to get it closed down with my permits and everything from the state, because I was permitted. Obviously, I couldn't have a
naturally.
501c3 without being permitted. I would be breaking the law.
Naturally.
So I'm going through the steps of being like, okay, guys, I can't do this anymore. Now, all my equipment, when everything thaws out, I need to take all of my equipment, go find another rehabber and be like, Merry Christmas, and just drop it all off to them, because I don't have a use for all of these cages, all of these baby blankets, all of this formula, all these different things. And because those came in from, oh God, I like gone on this whole tangent. I'm sorry.
No, go.
Yeah.
Go
So
on,
no,
go
we
ahead.
closed it because it ran its course.
I'm
Sorry.
not gonna. I'm not gonna stop you. Like it's.
I will go keep going. I'm
I
sorry.
know. No, that's fine. Go ahead.
What up? What else?
So aside from that, I mean, I guess I was going to ask, like, is there a certain way you feel about it? But I think that's the right thing to do. It ran its course and it served your family until it didn't.
Yeah.
And again, as we were going into that conversation we were having earlier, having the bravery to no longer be like, well, this is my responsibility. This is what I have to do. And then everyone around you, to use the term, suffers because of it. Just be like, all right, this no longer serves me. I'm gonna step away from it. More people need that bravery. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's acknowledging that like I did it, and that was good enough. And
yeah,
like I did something, which is more than most people do. Most people
true.
do nothing. So I feel good about the fact that I did this for 3 years. This was my something. Like
Hey,
there it is, my contribution to
I'm proud of
the
you.
planet.
For
Thank
what
you.
it's worth, I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of you.
I had so many cute little critters, though. It was so fun to be like, look at this. And
You had a good thing. I think that's good things.
thanks.
You also, as you mentioned, you're a writer. You're an author.
Yes.
You've written some independent, your solo novels. What novels do you have out there?
I have one novel. I have
Okay.
Spellbound, which is actually, I'm so excited for this whole new direction. Because again, bravery. if like something I start thinking about, I'm like, I wonder if, and I want to test it out to see if it works. But I have the one novel, Spellbound, which is
Mhm.
YA urban fantasy about witches in a national park.
Okay.
All that being said, that's out. Happy about it. But the second book I've been writing, and it's not a sequel. It's almost like a prequel, but it's not a prequel. It's hard to explain.
It's in the same universe, having in
Same
a different time
universe,
period.
just like 30 years prior. So 30-ish. But like I've been trying to write this and I am miserable doing it. I hate it. I hate writing this novel. And I'm like, you know what? I wrote one novel. I've proven I can do it. Again, know the rule you're breaking.
No,
I've
really
proven
breaking.
that I can do this. So I'm kind of at a point like where I don't want to tell the story from here in novel form. My true love in writing is short story. I love short
Same.
stories so much.
Same.
So I prefer reading them. When I find well-written short stories, I'm just over the moon. I love it. I basically consider Poe's philosophy of composition as like the Bible on how to write a good short story. And like I love short stories. So if I have that passion, and there are people who always would have said, and along this thing, if you haven't written a novel, you're not really a writer. Like you're
Oh
just
yeah.
whatever, which is stupid. Anybody can blurb out fucking War and Peace and not know how to like chop it down, like whatever. Okay, there's an
I've read
art.
some passages from some bad novels.
Yes, me too. Usually just the first couple pages, but in the course of figuring out, I don't want to write Betwixt, which is the sequel to Spellbound. I don't want to write it. So I was like, what if I just make serialized books of short stories? So like manga, I love manga so much. If I were to tell the story serialized, but then also be able to pepper in, I say pepper in, that's a pun because the main character in Betwixt, her name's Pepper, but also like add in short stories of like just stuff that's adjacent, stuff that's happening. I can write a short story about the characters that were in Spellbound and I can further their story, and then also, like, what's serialized about it is you're getting Betwixt. So you're getting that story, but you're also getting these side stories, and each
Yeah.
volume, the world would grow, so there would be so much more that we can jump around time and stuff, and, like, that may be disorienting because I know it's new. It's not something that really is palatable
I
for
don't think that
American
that's so
readers
I
yet.
don't think that's as bad as you think it is. I mean, if you look
I
at something like Star Wars doesn't follow one linear path of story.
Yeah.
I mean, the first few some of our movies kind of do, but
So
there's always this guy happening in the Star Wars universe and this happening in the Star Wars universe. So as long as you're in the universe and people are interested in that universe, I don't see a problem with what you're doing at all.
that's my hope. That's my hope is that Spellbound will be my gateway drug to
Mm.
get people like this novel is your introduction to the world. And like this is where you get immersed and then from here on out you just read the volumes and then you get more story. And then for that that opens so many doors for me as far as creativity. I don't have to tell the story any of the stories in a linear fashion. I don't have to, I mean, and I would tell Betwixt in a linear fashion. And then there are also two other books planned in the series. I would tell those two in the linear fashion. But because I would not be pulling out my own teeth trying to write an 80,000 to 100,000 word novel, and instead I'm just doing them in these bite-sized chunks that are more enjoyable to me, I will be able to get these out so much faster. And that speed to get them out faster, to get them out, like manga, how, most mangas have like
Really little volumes,
2
yeah.
yeah, several come out a year. To be able to do that and still have the fun of like, I'm not pigeonholed into the rules of novel writing, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah." So, I have one novel. It's called Spellbound. Do you see how this happens?
Yeah.
I'm mhm.
So what was Moonlight Market?
Moonlight Market is a short story collection that it's like, did you ever, when you were a kid, did you read Sideways Stories from Wayside School?
No, but I think my kids have read it.
Okay. The whole
Sounds
premise of that
familiar.
the whole premise of that book is that um, there was a school that was supposed to be built with
Yeah, it was built the wrong way. It was built this
it was
way,
supposed to be yeah, it was supposed to be built vertically, but it was like
horizontally. Yeah, it was a weird
100
one.
classrooms, or I can't remember how many classrooms,
Well,
uh,
hundreds of good.
100. But they accidentally built it vertically.
Yeah, one floor with 100 rooms instead of 100 floors, one room each.
Yes. So
Yeah,
every floor is a classroom.
yeah.
And it's all the weird ass things that happen. So the school is the main uniting point. And then each short story in the collection is a story of something that happens in one of the classrooms to one of the kids. And it's all supernatural, weird things like people
Like the
turning
kids that get turned into apples.
exactly.
Yeah.
So but it's exactly what like a 7, 8, 9 year old is gonna read and be like, this is great. And legitimately it is because I'm, you know, 46 and I'm still like, this is great. So like I that's what I did with Moonlight Market. The theme that unites everything is the market itself, which is a supernatural market in the Black Forest of Germany. And it's all supernatural beings, werewolves, vampires, witches, and 2 hillbillies. And so the hillbillies from Kentucky are coming in to sell their Kentucky White Lightning at the Moonshine Convention
That
because they
checks.
misunderstood.
That checks out.
Yes. And
Born
I
in
come
Kentucky, I can tell you that checks out. That happened.
I
That
come from a
happened.
family of moonshiners, so I definitely, you know, I have the Veritas to tell that story and including NASCAR and things like that without people being like, "That's insensitive to my culture." I'm like, "No, sir. No, sir. I don't have shoes on right now." Like, no. Like, we're good. We're good. So, in the in that story, though, it's all these different short stories of these different booths, different things that happen in this market, but they're all unrelated to each other.
Yeah. You just have like that centralizing thing that
Yes.
keeps it all together. Yeah.
Yep. The
And these
market
are all Spellbound and Moonlight Market are available for
on
purchase.
Amazon. They
There
are
you go.
available on Amazon. If you are eschewing Amazon, you can also get them on barnesandnoble.com because I released them also through Ingram Spark and Draft to Digital, so they have gone wide. You can get them in other places. So if your country doesn't have Amazon, which some of them don't, you can order them other places too.
Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
like
if you look up Nicole Port Thomas, you can figure them out. You can find them.
yeah, if you just Google my name, like a whole bunch of weird shit pops up. Have fun with that. I'm envious. I would love to Google my own name on somebody else's browser and see what comes up.
I've had my son Google me at school, um, and he was like super popular in class. Like, your dad's on Google. I was like, we're all on Google somewhere, kid. So like, but it's like my website and the conventions I've done and things I've released and stuff like that.
Yeah,
My son thought that was pretty cool. So his
yeah.
friends thought that was pretty cool. So
My nephews are super proud of me because I had a YouTube channel.
yeah,
Auntie Nikki's on YouTube. What? And I'm just like,
it's crazy.
yeah, I promise it's not that big of a deal,
It's
but
not as cool.
I'm not
Doesn't
gonna
feel as cool to us. I guess it is to them.
yeah. But
But
I
I
mean,
mean,
they watch a lot of YouTube, so they immediately assume that I'm like Mr. Beast or something. And it's like,
back in the day, if your friend was on the news, regardless as to why, that kid was like super popular for like next week at school.
yeah. And you're like
So and
trying to
so was on the
record
news, man. It's like, well, yeah, his house burned down. It's not that exciting.
it.
Yeah, but he was right there on the news. He got to talk to the news people on camera. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's homeless now though. So like, there's
Oh,
that. Let's not misplace the excitement here.
yeah. All right. What other questions? Were there more?
Of course, there's
I will
more.
just keep taking us off on tangents. I'm sorry.
I live on tangents. It's my whole thing. Um, Now we have those books of your solo works, but
Yeah.
of course, as we mentioned before, you got into anthologies. Tell me how
Yes.
this happened.
Oh, it's a boring story, I think.
I love the
Um,
story. Tell how this happened.
I was in a live stream with other writers. I was part of the AuthorTube community at the time, and we're all co-writing together. And I made a comment about I was going to need to go take a shower because I needed to go to the library, and I didn't want to go looking like a bog hag. And there were two other people in there who did not know what a bog hag was, and they were like, "What is a bog hag?" I was like, "Oh my god, how do I explain to these people what a bog hag is?" So I'm trying really hard, and then other people who are, D&D savvy were like, "Well, here's also, what you could look at it," and fun stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh, that's cool. So, like, it could be like this." And as happens anytime you get a group of writers together, our brains start going.
Yeah,
And we
you do.
started coming up with all these different short story ideas, all these different story ideas of bog hags in different things and doing different things. And um, I think I was the one who was like, "Man, wouldn't it be cool if we had like an anthology of all of our bog hag stories?" And they were like, "Yeah, that would be so cool." Oh, wait, that would be on me. Like, this is my fault. So, I was like, "I volunteer to put one together if you guys wanna write the stories." And I had no idea what I was doing. Literally, that's it. When I woke up that morning, 1 hour prior, I could have never told you that I would be an hour later now in charge of making an anthology.
And it's not the
So,
only one. So
it's
you
not
go
the
from
only one.
so the question really becomes how did you go from bog hag to belting? Like
So,
why did the second one happen? Let's go with that. Why did the second one happen?
because everybody had so much fun with Beltane that or with Bog Hag, that it was like, "We can do this." Like, "Holy crap, this is actually something that can be done." And the first 2, Bog Hag and Beltane, were specific only to, AuthorTube. I had it open to anyone who was an AuthorTuber, and that way they were the AuthorTube anthologies.
Mhm.
Um, which is why on the cover it says AuthorTube anthologies. Yeah, AuthorTube presents. Yeah, so I gave everyone the credit for that, to be like, "This is just our little group of writer friends, little group, this huge group of writer friends." And people contributed their stories, and I put them in there, and we published it. And voila, now all these people who before hadn't been published can be like, "I'm published," and then now they've gotten that out of the way, congratulations, it's easier from here.
Yeah, there
So,
you go.
like, having all of those things done, um, really kind of just paved the way because I had figured it out. But what really, like, was the most amazing part for me was that I got in contact with Sarah C. Brody, my
Mhm.
work bestie, my partner in crime, and, she was like, "I would love to help you out with the anthologies." And I was like, "Okay, sure, yeah, let's do this." Like, I'll bring someone on, and when we went through Beltane, I was like, "Well, let me tell you how I did this." So she had the benefit of I'd already done it once,
Right.
but I was honest with her, like, "I have no idea what I'm doing, so we're gonna have a lot of trial and error as long as you're cool with that." She was like, "I'm down, let's do it." And I was like, "Oh, that's the best." So we stumbled through everything together in putting it together. So I brought, a friend with me, and she ended up being, my work bestie. She's like my ride or die when it comes to writing. And
You're right or
Right
die.
or die? Yeah, as soon as I said it, I was like, "Oh, I
There
see
it
what I did
is.
there." So,
T-shirts will be
that's
coming.
yeah, but the actual topic of Beltane was, thrown out by Jenna O'Malley, another author tuber, and, in discussion, she was like, "Oh, it'd be cool if we had a Beltane one." And Sarah and I were like, "It would be cool if we had a Beltane one." And so that's where the theme came from. Beltane was just the idea was tossed out there. I think it was because we were talking about it being the pagan penis holiday.
Yeah, something like that probably.
So, yeah, whatever it was, I'm sure it was not wholesome. That's not how we do anything. So
It's no fun that way.
no, it's boring. So that's where it came from. It's just that idea was just tossed out there. And at that point, I was like, this is great. This is really great. And we had so much interest in Beltane from people outside of the AuthorTube community that after we finished up Beltane, Sarah and I were like, we're going to open the door wide. Like, we're going to open this out anybody. They don't have to be part of the AuthorTube community. Anybody can do it. And so then we had to drop the AuthorTube presents part because it doesn't exactly apply anymore.
Right.
And that's where Two of Crones came from. So the actual business name is Two of Crones, Crones. And that is what Sarah and I, the name under which Sarah and I put out all of our anthologies. We also recognize that we have no business being editors of anyone else's short stories, which
So
is
the
also
cute little thing on the cover here.
Yeah.
Unedited by.
We're all listed as uneditors. We go through and fix what we can see glaringly, but other than that, it stands on your own merit. So like we tell the authors, you probably want to hire someone to look over this and edit it properly because we're not gonna. So
And I think that's a really important. I understand the desire to have something really, really polished, or whatnot, but there is it's a disservice to a certain point to the individual writer if they have a mess. I won't say it's crap. Let's say it's messy. It's a messy piece of work,
yeah.
and they present it, and someone else does all the polishing and priming and the fixing and the ordering, and then they put it out, and this person never learns what it was that they did wrong, why it was messy. This person doesn't grow. So I actually really do appreciate the fact that, because I've sat in on some of those meetings, I've read some of those messages, and I honestly appreciate that of the two of you for putting the work on the writer to grow, to see their mistakes, to fix, to get better and be better.
Exactly.
Because realistically, that kind of seems to be your MO. One of the things I personally love about you, one of the reasons why you're one of my best friends, is that you always seems to have this mission to help others be better.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a matter of your own glory, which you very well could, put the spotlight on yourself if you'd like, but you really do put a lot of energy on lifting everybody else. It's like you do all that working out so that you can lift others, not present yourself to be strong. And I really love that about you. And I think other people who know you appreciate that about you as well. So why is that so important? Why is that the mission?
Because people help me. And I can't do anything that I do alone. Like the fact that I'm brave because I know other people have me. It's really easy to do the scary thing when you've got an absolute army of people behind you who are going to be like, you got this, let's go. And they're not bullshitting you. Nobody's blowing smoke up my ass. They're people who have experience in different things who can be like, yeah, you can do this, go for it. And they in turn will be like, let me help you out with this. Or, I've got this experience. So if you got questions, let me know. And I'm always very quick to be like, hey, I got a question about this. Where can you point me? Where can you point me to go from here? I'm not asking you to do it for me. Just point me in the right direction and I'll take over from here. And that's important to me because we never should stop growing. There's none of these writers, these people who have written these short stories and the contributors to the anthologies, none of them should stop growing. None of us are perfect. My contributions to my stories in the anthologies are far from perfect. Like, I'm not sitting here being like, hey, everybody, look at how great I am. I am definitely not. And that's on me. I have far to grow. But I would hope that somebody could look through the different things and be like, oh, look how she got progressively better. And that's where one of the things in the anthologies that changed from Beltane to Hush Little Baby, which is our most recent one.
I'm going to touch on that.
Oh, well, let me get to this part.
If you ever heard me on Sock on the Moon, my favorite phrase is "fuck a runtime." Let's just keep going.
Woo! So the next
the thing between
Yeah, what
Beltane
changed in that is that, like, the first two, we took every submission that came in. You sent it to us, we published it. You gave me permission to publish it, I published it. Boom. Like, I was not going to, like, be a judge and jury of being like, this is good enough, this isn't good enough, blah, blah, blah. With Hush Little Baby, we actually were like, now we've got so many, unless we want like a phone book of an anthology, we need to be a little bit choosier what goes into the anthology. But at the same time, where Sarah and I instituted the new, you know, like, yes, we'll publish it, no, we won't rule, we didn't ever take someone's and go, no, we're not going to publish this. Have a nice day. Every single person that we were like, you know, I don't think this is quite ready yet, we would work with them and be like, I think you could probably do this. Maybe you should go through with this. And I know a guy, like, let me give an example. Mint, I love you, Pumpkin. I'm so sorry that I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm so proud of you for this. Mint, our mutual friend of ours, Mint, submitted her story for Krampus. And I know enough of her style and what she can do to know that she's great. And what she handed us was just not really her caliber. Like, you could feel it, like, in reading it, you could tell she's off. Like, something was off. And so I was very honest with her. I was like, Mint, love you. This isn't your best work. Like, I'm going to hand it back to you and tell you that I love you and say, like, take the time that you need to work on it again. And I gave her an extension on the deadline and was like, take it, work on it, like, and then give it back. Like, I'm not telling you no, I'm telling you not yet.
Yeah.
So in doing that, like, that was also me being like, you know, developmentally, talk to Jace, another friend of ours, another person in our sphere of friends, you know, talk to Jace. He's amazing at developmental editing. And they were working together. And so Jace would get back to me and be like, yeah, man, she's doing really great. She's like taking care of these things, and she did this. And I was like, awesome, awesome. So even as she was making the edits and she was sculpting it further down to whittle it to what it needed to be to showcase what she's capable of, like, I was still 100% right there in the mix, being like, you got this, kid. Like, don't, like, you got this. Yeah. Don't take this as a rejection. This is me saying, I know you can be better. I know you can do better. I've seen you do better. I'm giving you space and encouragement to do what is going to showcase what you can do.
Yeah. And I think most people would rather have that, but they're also scared of that. And I think that goes back to the earlier conversation. There's so many people are fearful of, if it's not the most enthusiastic yes, it's instantly the most tragic no. And people should understand that it's not so cut and dry.
Exactly. Hey, Dwan.
Yes, love.
So you are going to need to edit this just a little bit. I have to pee, so I'll be right back. Hang on a sec. I just drank way too much coffee and water. I cannot possibly, I will sit here and piss everywhere. So hold on a minute. I'll be right back.
And just for everyone who noticed the shift here, left all that shit in. I'm going to leave all that in there.
I'm old.
Because people pee. We're old.
I'd pee. So anyway, yeah. Bladders aren't what they, I mean, my prostate is just so swollen.
You've now opened the door to a lot of other questions now. And I'm not going to ask or answer any of them. That's her business, not yours.
Put them in the comments. Maybe we'll answer them.
If wherever I put this has comments, we don't know. I might take the audio and put the audio somewhere. So
great idea.
So more than one location, people. We're going multi-platform. I don't know what I'm doing with this.
Please do. I love podcasts.
I love doing podcasts. I've gotten good at them. We were talking about helping other people and that stuff. I forgot what it was. You know what else? You know what else goes besides bladder capacity? Short-term memory. That also fades.
Well, we'll remember eventually. I'm sure it'll come back around.
Because in the end, I'm leading into you were talking about helping people through and rejections not necessarily being rejections.
Yeah, that I don't go no and then just send them on their way. It's like not yet. Like for me, my no's are not no. My no's are not yet.
And I think
And
that's, again, is important for people to realize that,
yeah,
just because this is the thing, the last point I made before, because I, listen, totally lost what I had just said. I really did. But I
it
remember
was
this
very
now,
poignant.
that if it wasn't an enthusiastic yes, it feels like the most harsh no. But
Yeah.
it's not so cut and dry. It was the last thing I had said. Um, but that's one of the mindsets. It's like, when something that we talk about when we talk to people who go through traditional publishing to release their books is the mountain of rejection letters that they get, and how they can be painful, but they're kind of like a badge of honor, because not every rejection letter is the same.
Yeah.
Sure, someone's going to tell you, we don't like your work, do something else. um Ignore those people. But some people are just going to say, hey, this is a great story, it just doesn't work with what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
keep trying. Hey, I have too many people that I'm representing, can't represent you. Talking about agents at this point. So keep going, try someone else. I just can't mess with it. Um, I know there are some people who are trying to traditionally publish their work, and they're like, this story is just a little bit too, it's too this or it's too that. We're not sure how marketable it would be. Let's keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, not everyone is in this business for the art. Some people are in this business to make money. If they can't find a way to make money with what you're doing, it's nothing, it's not a shot on you. It just is what it is. And that's not part of the art, but it is part of the business.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that Nicole's kind of leaning on when she was kind of going into the changes for the third anthology. It's like, at some point, I can't just let anything walk through the door as is. Let's
Yeah.
work with it. Let's progress it. Let's shine it up real nice
Exactly.
before we turn it sideways.
Exactly. We sideways.
Yeah, it's a wrestling reference.
Oh, gotcha. I was like sideways. Like what's okay? Sorry.
No, it's a wrestling
Autistic.
reference.
Literal.
I
Sorry.
know.
Um,
Half the reason why I did it. It was fun. It
got
was a
it.
joke for me. It's a joke
You
for me.
just wanted to see me confused. It's fair.
Yeah.
I get it.
So this third one,
Yeah.
this Hush Little Baby, this Krampus edition, pretty special cover. How did that come along?
Our cover was designed by the world-renowned artist Sean Koss. It started off with just using his image. He gave us permission to use his image that he had already created.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah and I were trying to put together the cover ourselves, and just like, oh God, it was crap. Like we were doing terribly. And so I went back to him and was like, Mr. Koss, Sean, sir, can you look at what we're like with your design eye, with your artist eye? Can you look at what we've created and tell us what we're doing wrong? Like, could you just like, I'm not asking you anything other than just, can you point us in a direction that we can make this better? And he looked at it, was like, oh, I got you. And did the entire cover. So all the lettering, everything was all completely done by Sean Koss with his original art. Sean Koss, for anybody who does not know who he is, he's incredible.
You've seen his work. If you've seen his work, you just don't remember the name.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Nobody's not seen his work.
Yeah.
Just it's out there.
So if you've ever scrolled Instagram over the last some odd years, and saw somebody with the kind of like dark sketch art of mental illness, that's the guy. That's who we're talking about.
So you can find him at anymeansnecessary.com. Not that I'm trying to like give plugs for Sean in this, but you know,
might as well.
He doesn't give plugs for me. No, it's fine. But that's where you could go and see his art. He has a clothing line. And also, which is arguably one of my favorite things right now going on with him, he's also the licensed artist for Typo Negative. So he has officially licensed typo negative merch. So like
For those who are fans.
my little 90s heart is super excited about that. But so is his. So but that's how I got his approval to use it, and then got him to write I didn't get him to, he offered to do the entire cover simply by having the balls to ask.
Amazing what communication does.
Just had the balls to ask. And he's a huge animal lover. And since all of the anthology's proceeds go to charity, I don't make a dime off of this.
And that's actually true for most anthologies. Most anthologies are
and
charity.
They should. Can we be honest? They should. You should not be making money off of somebody else's work.
Yeah, there's no reason why one person should make money off of the work of like 10 or 12.
Absolutely. So all of the proceeds previously went to the 501c3 Quill Cottage Wildlife, my wildlife rehab. And that's simply out of necessity, not because I was like, hey, this will perk up the money. It was just like I needed somewhere for these extra pennies to filter. Right. So to be fair. So he's an animal lover. And when I was like, it's going to a 501c3, he was like, cool. Yeah, I can do that. So that was pretty cool. And
so if someone buys a copy now, where are the proceeds going to
go? Right now, so here's the thing. I have not officially fixed stuff on the website, but Sarah and I have been in the works of how we're going to do that. From here on out, every year is going to have its own charity that we're working with. And the first one, the one that's going to be for 2026, is going to be diversity books. I'm going to draw a blank. I'm sorry. I'm not going to Google it though, because now I'm going to get distracted. But a really great 501c3 that helps get books published and distributed that are diverse in nature. So we all know representation matters. It's very, very important. So that is their focus, is representation. So they will be our first charity. And all of the proceeds for all of the anthologies that get sold in 2026, including what is started in January, is all going to go to diverse books. I probably should go in and change the covers of the other books, but that would cost money again. And I would have to then pay the cover designers to go in and fix it. And I'm kind of like, or that's money. I can just make statements on the website and then change the description on Amazon and stuff like that. There's ways I can get around that. And hopefully everybody will just be okay with it. If the IRS comes knocking and wants to know where this money went, I'll have a track record showing okay, guys, here's what we did.
Yeah. So just for everyone who's listened to the last hour and a half of this and heard that the Quill Cottage is going away, but these anthologies were going to it. Understand, if you do turn around, as you should, and buy Bog Hag or Beltane or Hush Little Baby, the money is going to go to a charity. No one's going to pocket it now. It is going somewhere. And I think helping, instead of just one charity, helping multiple charities over time, I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, that's and that's the other thing to bear in mind too. Bog Hag was published October 2024.
Something like that, yeah.
And Beltane was published April 2025. And then Hush Little Baby was published
December, November?
Halloween. I think it came out on Halloween.
I think it did.
So that's 3 within 1 year. So this hasn't been going on for a really long time. So if you look at it, we only ever had everything done for 1 year. We only ever had one charity per year. So I'm not really changing anything in regards to that. It's just as the business grows, we're learning how to direct things. As you're going to have growing pains. You're going to have all these things that you have to make decisions. Wow, we didn't account for this because we didn't have that problem before. So what do we do now?
Yeah.
That's all part of being a business owner. And so to now have that where we are, okay, from here on out, here's how we're going to do things is just part of the process. So, but we're also open to people suggesting their 501c3s for getting that money. And it's not a small chunk of change. I'm gonna be completely honest because they're Amazon bestsellers. So
There you go. No reason to be humbled for that.
yeah,
So I am ready to sort of wrap this up. 'Cause honestly, you and I, we could talk forever.
we usually do.
We do, but we've mentioned your community work. That's what I ultimately call it. How you help other people grow and change, and why that's so important. We've mentioned your individual books. We've mentioned the anthologies. You know, all where they can get all these books, where the money goes for those anthologies. What's next for Nicole Ford Thomas?
Well, I touched on that a little bit with making the serialized short stories. I don't. It's like a hybrid of a short story collection and manga without the pictures because
I was
as
gonna say,
Nicole,
is there art going to be involved? Do we got pictures coming?
I cannot yet draw. So no.
That's why she wants the lessons. That's what.
Yeah, now I have a reason to be like, huh, maybe I could illustrate this. I don't know, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
I doubt it. But it's I'm not going to count it out. But that's what's next is to start the process of getting the first volume out, figuring out how I'm going to name them. Like there's all the things that creatively go into that. Um, Beyond that, for Two of Crones, we have a super secret project that is coming out. I think we're announcing it in roughly 2 weeks. Do you think this will hit the airwaves in 2 weeks, or can I tell you now and
You
I
know
won't
what?
be spoiling it?
If you, how do you want to do it? Because I can hold this for 2 weeks and specifically release it on a certain day if that's what you want. It's not like I don't have a YouTube channel that I can just click this and put this on. Because I'm not editing it. The only thing I take out of it is the peeing thing, but we're not gonna.
I mean,
Uh,
I guess, but
no, do you want this to be the announcement? Do you want this to come out the day of, day before, day after?
let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's
Fucking
get
go
crazy
for
with
it.
it. The official announcement is coming out on Valentine's Day,
Okay.
but Sarah and I have been secretly working over this past winter to make an invitational anthology that
Ooh.
is the 7 deadly sins. And we went to 5 of our favorite contributors that we knew had the time on their schedule that we knew would, fit with because I mean, this was out of the blue. Like, it
Yeah.
was very much so like, "Hey, guys, can you cram this into your schedule?" And they loved it, and they were like, "Yes." So, there are 7 authors total, me, Sarah, 5 others, and we
Surprise,
each have
surprise.
our own assigned sin. So that will be announced to be coming out on Valentine's, but it's not coming out until March 13th, which is a Friday the 13th.
It's the other Friday the 13th. For those who don't realize it, March and February and March, they mirror. Like,
Yes.
because February is 28 days and it's 4 perfect weeks.
Yeah, it fits like
March,
perfectly within the.
outside of leap years, March will mirror February. So when you get a February the 13th, Friday the 13th, you will get March Friday the 13th. I'm
Right.
actually writing down February 13th on here because I don't want this to be out before you announced it.
It's okay if you do. We'll be
Oh
fine.
no, I got it. No, I
And again,
got you.
it's not like we're announcing it and being like, so here's submissions are open. It's invitational.
Right,
So
right.
we
No,
started we have our first invitational, which is kind of exciting. Um, but
why
then
invitational?
just because it was such short notice, and
Mhm.
the premise was if one author, one sin. So rather than have it open to everyone and have like 30 people sending
All
something
just
in for lust, you know what I mean? And I
yeah.
have to pick one. It was just easier to be like, I know these people can get the job done in this time. It's going to be less wear and tear on me and Sarah because, we're trying to write our own books at the same time as doing
Yeah.
this work. It was completely outside of what we had scheduled for Two of Crones period. So it's like this completely extracurricular thing. I was like, how can we make this as easy on ourselves as possible? And it was like, we pre-pick who's writing their stories. And that actually, it worked out so well in that regard because they're amazing. I'm so proud of what our authors came up with when they were tasked with the challenge. And so like instead of us having a big overarching theme like Krampus or Beltane, this one was very much so like the seven deadly sins. And your story has to cover the sin. Like it can't just be like, oh, this person had lust and blah, blah, blah. No, that has to be the focus of the
That's
story.
all of romance. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So the second thing that we have going on past that, when we're getting back to what we actually normally do, in I think June or July, I would have to check my notes. I do not commit any of this to memory. I write it down because I'm not going to
I
remember it.
have the memory. Yeah, no.
And coming out, I believe, end of September, early October, something like that, is our 2026 anthology, which the theme is shipwreck.
Okay.
And it is open to interpretation that whether it's spaceship wreck, if your little space capsule wrecked into the moon or whatever, if it's mermaids around a shipwreck, something, it just has to feature a shipwreck as a main point in the story. And we're excited for that one. Like I said, the proceeds of this one goes to diverse books. Diversity. Geez, I should know this. I don't.
A charity that helps diverse books get released to the peoples.
There we go. That's it. So
and specific. We'll get all the specific stuff later. We'll do
it later. We got 2 weeks.
I got time. This isn't going to be out today. It's fine.
Which is fine. Yeah. So that's what's next for me. Is just those are the only things I can't plan further than a year in advance because I never know what's going to happen. There's always some complication that arises that best laid plans just get blown to smithereens. So I don't go that far in advance to be like, here's my 5-year projection. I
Life stays lifing.
Yes. Yeah. And I've learned that it's a lot easier to roll with it than it is to try to pigeonhole it into the box that I created just because. So that's it. That's all I'm up to is just now starting the literary version of manga. No pressure.
No, not at all. No, it's cool.
And then continuing on with the work with Two of Crones and seeing where that takes us next.
Sounds dope to me. So let the people know where they can find you.
Google. No, I'm just kidding.
Where y'all are. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen. No.
That's the show, kids. Thanks for stopping by. I think that it's probably the most direct way, but I try to keep it easy. I am Nicole Ford Thomas everywhere. My full name, Nicole Ford Thomas. So NicoleFordThomas.com, on Instagram, Nicole Ford Thomas, on Facebook, same thing, blah, blah, blah. So just search. I'll pop up.
Spellbound is available to the public.
Yes.
Moonlight Market is available to the public.
Yes.
So is Bog Hag, Beltane, Hush Little Baby, the Krampus Anthology. It's available to the people. By the time the world hears this, will they be able to pre-order this 7 Deadly Sins Anthology? Is that the day of a pre-order? Is that a thing?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, because it's Amazon, so you would be able to pre-order the ebook, but Amazon doesn't let you do pre-orders on paperback. So, wow.
They're lame.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're going to get the ebook or need something else for your Kindle, pre-order it there. Mark on your calendars for March 13th?
March 13th.
March 13th. Mark
Also,
on your
you
calendar.
You can follow Sarah and I on Instagram at Two of Crones, TWOOF. It looks like Two Crones. I think that's hilarious. Two of Crones. And you would get the updates there for, that's all strictly though stuff for the anthologies.
That's right. Don't get weird.
Don't get weird. Don't get weird.
Just Instagram. Yeah, we're weird enough. Don't get weirder.
Get out of my DMs.
Yeah. All of them.
Especially
you. You, that guy right there.
You with the shirt.
Stop it.
Acting like that. Wait, don't think I don't see you. I see you through the screen.
Put it down. She's married.
So married.
Poke you in the eye. Poke you in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that.
Yeah. Get out of there.
Get out of there.
Or talk to Sarah. Sarah will just show you.
Yeah. And boy, will she. Yeah, she will.
With finesse.
It actually is quite a beautiful thing to watch her shut somebody down.
She's good. She's good.
I was gonna. There was a situation. Not going to share here. We don't keep it alive. But I was gonna, and then she popped in. I'm just like, you know what? It's cool. You don't need me.
I was like, I don't need to say anything. It looks like everybody else has it handled.
It's fine. I can just sit back and watch everybody else destroy you. It's all cool.
You just don't piss off a group of writers.
Yeah.
And think that you're gonna like just walk away.
We have creative
adjectives. So many adjectives.
Metaphors.
So many creative places you can stick things.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Either way, that is probably the best place to end everything.
Yeah, with violence. I agree.
No, with creative expressions of disapproval.
Exactly.
It's
a warning.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's cool. The message was sent and received, and things were handled. It's fine. And not a single shot was fired because it didn't need to be.
Didn't need to.
Sometimes you can handle your problems without firing a shot.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that.
Don't mind my icy attitude.
Oh. Get it. Tell him.
Anyway, I'm Dewan L. Hearn, more affectionately known as the Moon. This has been a wonderful hour and a half in Nicole for Thomas. Trust me, if you got this far, I love you. Clearly, you've already hit the like button and the subscribe button and all the other things that this thing has told you to tell you to do. So do the things and watch the next one, because by the time this is out, there should be another one. So yeah. Go do that now.
Backlog. Yeah.
We're not.
But it just gets better from here, folks. Promise.
Probably.
It's not. It couldn't get any worse than me. Let me just tell you that.
That's not true.
Okay. This was fun.
I love this. This is great. We're still recording. So I'm just.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just saying that like I had a lot of fun, and they can expect me to be back again.
Oh yeah, we'll have far more talks. It's cool.
Definitely. We may have to just have our own tangential podcast someday.
Not gonna hurt my feelings.
Nicole and the Moon just sit and talk about nothing.
Yeah. Bullshit of the week.
Bullshit of the week. I love it. I love it.
All right. See, look what you did. See what you received by sticking around for this entire 1 hour and 38 minutes. See what you received. You're into something new. See, now you're privy to something brand new.
Boom. And you've learned something. So congratulations.
Yeah. All right, we're out for other time. All right, cool.